Maxine and I'm the director at Blackpop.
I'm Paula Moss and I'm the studio director at Blackpop. Blackpop are an independent British label designing wallpapers and fabrics for the luxury market.
We currently export to Europe, USA, Canada, South Africa, to name a few.
International interest came quite early on actually. I mean, we do a fabulous show every year called Decorex. Decorex is an international trade show for interior brands, and people come from all over the world. And it was at that show that we first met Kimiko Ishiguro. It was last year actually, wasn't it? And Kimiko runs Salon Favori in Tokyo, and she approached us to see if we'd be interested in working with her. The partnership with Kimiko has been developing brilliantly. It's actually taken approximately a year from when we first met at Decorex to actually Blackpop launching in Tokyo.
So it's a very different process in Japan. They've been much more holistic in it. There seems to be a kind of the relationship is growing organically. It's kind of a proper relationship we're having with them, isn't it?
Culturally, working with the Japanese is fantastic. I mean, Kimiko and Terry, her partner, they've got the most impeccable personal and business manners, and that's something that we really respect. I think our top tips would be, for sure, and this is right at the core of it, is to find the right partner. I know it sounds really obvious, but it's absolutely at the core of it, because it is that development of that personal relationship and the way that your businesses can work together. I think that's absolutely vital. Absolutely make sure that the products that you're considering trading are of the absolute best quality.
The Japanese, as far as design is concerned anyway, they want something with its own style and its own language, a brand that's recognisable. We're both kind of anticipating going out to Tokyo and seeing the showroom and experiencing the whole of the culture.
I mean, we are aware that, we're at the early stages in our trading journey with Japan, and we're aware that things will take time, but we're really invested into developing that, and so Kimiko and her team, so we're really excited about that.
So my name is Mark Aspinall OD. I'm the Business Development Manager for our Asia Pacific region here at RETROGENIX. So RETROGENIX are a UK-based biotech company. We're located in Chinley in Derbyshire, which is where our head office and our laboratories are located. We work for the biotech industry, so biopharma in particular, and we provide data. So rather than exporting a physical product, we export data on behalf of clients. And they send us drug samples in effect. So this is preclinical stage work that is sent to us. We review those samples and look to see if they're behaving in the way that a client would expect them to. So Japan is a well-established market for the pharmaceutical industry and in particular biotechnology. We have visited Japan on a couple of occasions over the past year, initially as part of a Department of International Trade mission to Japan, which was a really exciting opportunity for us, but also subsequently for a conference that was useful for developing leads within the pharmaceutical industry. One of the key things you'll notice is people are very courteous, which is quite British in many respects, but they do tend to bow a lot. And it's something that actually becomes second nature when you're there for any length of time. There is etiquette around handing over business cards and receiving them, and people can take great offence if you don't take time to look at the card afterwards, and we've noticed that is definitely the case. But the Japanese are quite prescriptive sometimes in the way that they operate. The lead times for having conversations and follow-up conversations can be quite long, which as a company we're used to, but I think perhaps in Japan they'll be longer than even we are typically familiar with. So if you do end up having a meeting with a Japanese client, be prepared for the company, or certainly the department you're engaging with, to come en masse. It's not unusual for us to see that in the biopharma industry, but I imagine it could be quite off-putting if you walk into a room expecting 2 or 3 people and find 15 or 20, all of whom may well ask you questions at the end of your meeting. And lastly, make sure that the meeting that you have arranged has enough time for it, because you're going to go through your slides slower and you're also going to get a lot of questions, and trying to understand the questions may well be quite challenging. So make sure you've got plenty of time, you're not trying to rush to your next meeting. So if you're thinking about trading with Japan, my advice would be not to try and do it on your own. It's unique, I think, compared to other markets where it can be quite difficult to get a foothold. It's useful to do your homework first. The Japanese will certainly do that on you when you go to approach them. And if you can use another body to support with that, whether it's the DIT or another regional association that can help open doors for you, then I think you should certainly be encouraged to do so. I would say that we've invested quite a lot of time and energy and effort in developing our understanding of how the Japanese market works, and I think it's really important to do that before you embark on entering into the market. If you do, I think it pays dividends and you'll very quickly start to get connections that you can build on. And certainly from our perspective, we think Japan looks to be a very fruitful market for us moving forwards.
Hello, I'm Bill Leach. I'm the Global Sales Director of John Smedley, the knitwear brand based in Lee Mills near Matlock in Derbyshire. We are a 235-year-old knitwear business. We specialise in the manufacture of fine gauge knitwear and have been in this, our home, since 1784, and we're currently celebrating our 235th anniversary. We are trading in roughly 40 countries currently, including obviously Europe, Japan, North America, South Korea and Russia. But obviously Japan is by far our single biggest market and has been for nearly a century. Working with the Japanese is actually very easy as long as you put the groundwork in first. Exploit all that DIT can offer you in terms of support, both here in the UK but also in Japan. What is similar is the work ethic between the Japanese and the British. We are cordial, we are polite, we are respectful, and that will always be the case. So be mindful that going into Japanese presentations and meetings with a very brash, overly energetic presentation style may not fall on fertile ground. The ongoing most surprising thing about Japan is the attention to detail required at every level, from the product itself also through to the packaging. I'll ask you to draw the comparison between how sushi is presented and how a burger is served. The sushi depicts exactly how the Japanese like things to be presented, very, very, very finite details. My top tips for trading successfully in Japan are go there, spend time there, do it several times, meet and greet as many people from as many different organizations as you can. And when you are presented with the honor that is going to dinner in an izakaya restaurant or just to a bar for drinks, seize that opportunity with both hands, because those will be the moment that you start to build the relationships that will then bear fruit in the medium to long term. The Japanese do things slowly, very methodically. Some decisions can take time, but I can guarantee if you invest time into understanding culture and personal relationship, you will then reap the rewards later. I would encourage anybody who's thinking of trading in Japan to completely invest more time than you think imaginable into how the product looks when it's being delivered in the market of Japan. We pride ourselves on manufacturing a very high quality product, but I can guarantee that we would not be the successful business we are today unless we had adopted the Japanese approach towards delivering quality. The future plans for Japan are to continue to optimize the business opportunity it presents. Japan has been our biggest market for the last 100 years. It will be our biggest market for the next 100 years without any question whatsoever. And as a consequence, myself and a number of my colleagues will be investing lots more time into developing a continued successful Japanese business.